Hi, friends. I'm Rebecca,
And I'm Brad.
and we are friends first. So, today we are going to visit a little bit about what we're discovering in this time of pandemic, this time of deep breath that we're all taking with Black Lives Matters, with the pandemic, with our democracy and our country. I think we're all looking and investigating ourselves. And what we realize as a couple is that we have some viruses that we need to clean up. So we're going to hopefully be cleaning up COVID pretty soon, and we're going to hopefully be taking the time to excavate our relationship and figure out how to get more healthy together and have more fun.
And we're relearning how to be friends because when we came together at the beginning, we came together as friends. And through the 23 years of being together since we first met, a lot of roles and expectations and different things in our lives have come in the middle. And so now we're exploring how to get back to that foundational friendship.
Right. So basically, we started out 23 years ago um, as friends, really excited about life. I had just got out of the Mormon church and felt an exhilaration about discovering who I am, discovering spirituality outside of religion and human potential. And I met this guy that I totally um, adored, and we had a commitment together about evolving individually and seeing how relationship could happen through that lens. And 23 years later, we have 3 kids, we have our own businesses, and we have become entrenched in the roles.
So my upbringing was quite a bit different than Rebecca's. I was raised in an upper middle class family where my parents were really focused on being upwardly mobile. They're really intent on increasing our socioeconomic status in life. But as early on as a young kid, I realized that that life really wasn't for me. Like it wasn't reward. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew that I didn't want the same life as my parents. And I even remember as a kid, like 8 or 9 or 10 years old, having conversations with my parents where I would talk about sort of these optimistic viewpoints on life and how we should be taking care of the environment or these different type of things, and being told that when I get older, I'll learn the reality and not think that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And I can remember saying, when I get older, my life is going to be totally different than yours. Now, I had no idea what it was going to be like, but what I knew is that I wanted it to be different. And so, kind of to Rebecca's point, when we met and we started to come together, I knew that I wanted to have my primary relationship be based on us being able to change, but really for us to be able to be free people and not be like stuck to these roles and ideas that are given to us by our culture.
Me too. I mean, growing up Mormon, there was no hope for me as a woman. I remember even wanting, like, geez, I wish I was a man. At least I would have some power then. And when I left the Mormon church, I was so excited to discover who I was and have that freedom beyond those roles. And again, fast forward 23 years, it's like, why am I still acting like Betty Crocker? Why am I wanting to please everybody? Why am I thinking of other people first? And um, not even considering what I want or what's exciting to me or what's real for me. And that needs to change because there's, again, no hope in that. And I think women can relate because I think all women have this sort of conditioning to work through. And Mormons just think like 10 times that. It's like so ingrained to just be there to be subservient and to be pleasing to other people and to help out and be a good mom, a good wife, a good neighbor, a good friend, and all of these things, but that are more like canned, and I can't take it anymore. So.
So you're telling me about a story about that.
Oh yeah. So here's a story. Um, Typical type story. In my Saturday mornings, I am so excited because he works, a weekday job, and Saturday morning is like delicious to me. But oftentimes I'll wake up, I'll get myself my celery juice and my cup of coffee and then I'll notice there's a couple dishes in the sink, and I think about the kids as breakfast, and I clean up the dishes in the sink, and I start making breakfast because that seems to be fun, and I would like to give them something sweet to or special to eat on a Saturday morning as well. And then pretty soon I'm looking, it's 11 o'clock. I'm still in the kitchen. I'm cleaning up the breakfast. I haven't said what I wanted to do for this morning. Like I wanted to go to the farmer's market. Nobody knew because I didn't even introduce myself into that conversation. I actually didn't want to be stuck in the kitchen all morning. Even though there was some fun in it, it's like it's not fulfilling altogether, and I haven't said what I wanted. And they're in there playing Zelda, and that would be fun too. And I'm just feeling jealous, and then I'm gonna get mad at them and yell at them for not doing dishes. And this sucks. It's no fun anymore, and I don't want to do it. So I'm really like challenging myself to be more real in each moment.
And that's really the foundation of what we're talking about, becoming friends.
Right.
Because you can't be friends in a really true sense of the word without being totally honest, totally real with each other, you know? And
Right.
so, you know, you're kind of getting a picture now of how over these years with the stories we brought from our own upbringing, how they tied together so that we got ourselves stuck in these roles where we started to become a little less and a little less and a little less real and honest with each other. So like for me, for example, you know, over these 23 years of, you know, becoming a husband and then a father to three, you know, I went on to college and post-grad and became a chiropractor and focused on, you know, my career and my life and started doing the very same thing in a sense that my parents were doing, you know, trying to work hard, trying to become a good professional so we could raise our, you know, our socioeconomic status, you know, without even realizing I was doing the same thing that I had been taught. And at the same time, the other stuff that I was doing that was the same was when I was a kid, there was very little affection in my household, especially physical affection, physical touch. You know, I mean, I could probably count the number of times I hugged my dad, you know, once I was maybe a teenager on just using my hands. You know, it was that little that we hugged and touched each other and that type of stuff. And so I was doing the same thing with my own kids, like, and my own wife, you know, not having a lot of physical affection, not being comfortable hugging and that type of stuff. More than my parents did, I was doing, but way less than what would be sort of naturally nourishing to them, not even realizing it myself. And so, you know, all these things that show care and affection, I just wasn't schooled in. And so I was really bringing that forward. And the story that I got from my parents was, you know, thinking of my dad was like his job was to be the provider and to basically keep my mom happy because, you know, sort of their dynamic was that she kind of ruled the roost and you'd walk on eggshells hoping that she didn't get mad. And so his job was, you know, to really help us keep her happy so that, you know, everybody could be, you know, some sense of happiness or, you know, fake happiness or whatever you want to call it. And so you could see how with her story on that Saturday morning where she's getting more and more upset, it starts to go right into my picture and story, like, oh no, what do I do? How do I keep mom happy so that everybody can have a nice day? And so also, you know, in terms of being affectionate and stuff like that, like I was thinking about my daughter, my oldest daughter, who's now 13, but, you know, a few months ago when she was 12, 13, she started asking me to call her like an affectionate pet name, you know, like sweetheart, sweetie. You know, Rebecca does that with the kids all the time. But like I had never really done that. I just called them their name, Alexa, you know, or whatever, you know, I would call her. And what she was asking me for this, and it seems like such a simple thing, like, okay, I'll just call you something else. But it was so challenging. You know, she asked me, I said, okay, I'll do that. I'll think about it. And then I let like a week or two go by without coming back to her saying like, I'm gonna start calling you this or even using that, you know. And then she had to bring it to my attention again and bring it to my attention again. And it was like, I just found myself really bumping into where I had these pictures of how you're supposed to be as a parent or a dad or, you know, a husband, and what it would be really satisfying, which is, you know, of course, sharing that affection and really having the opportunity to get intimate and close.
But it takes being vulnerable, and I think both of us learned to be more careful and reveal less, and that has suffered our friendship. So we're really focused right now on loving ourselves and sharing more closely beyond the canned ideas and beyond the careful zones. So friends first for us is the non-judgmental aspect of like, we're in this together forever, and we're not going to go away. We can be wrong, or say things that are offensive to the other person, or that we think would be offensive to the other person, or just say what's on our mind and know that we will stay through it. And then there's a whole zone of discovery that we're starting to find in those careful zones that once lived, and we got to bust through them continuously. And we wanted to share this whole journey with you because we know we're not alone in this. We know that we're all working through our parents' crap that was given to us, and that we all want our children to have a better legacy, to have more freedom, more courage, more play in their life. And this is what we hope you will join us on.
And so I also think about when you're able to be totally real and totally honest with somebody and not be afraid that like you're doing it wrong or they're going to leave you, or maybe even be afraid of that, but still continue on knowing that there's a foundation of that friendship, that non-judgmental sticking through it no matter what, then you actually start to be able to explore those deeper parts of your own self and the other person. There's like these parts of ourselves, this wilderness that we don't let really anybody else in often in our lives. But when we can foster that true intimate relationship, that true friendship, we allow that in, and we allow somebody else to journey into that wilderness of our being. And that's like super rewarding, to be known so deeply by another person. And that's really what love is.
Yeah, and that's the gift that we can give to each other as we come out and risk being more authentic, and we'll excavate that gold together. So we hope to do that with you in several different ways, like projects we're working on, focuses that we'll have for a week. We want to video every week and share with you what our week's been like, what we're focusing on, what gifts that we can bring to you, strategies we're using together to break things up or to have more fun, or all different. What else are we going to do?
We're going to do different things to explore roles with each other.
Right.
What roles are working, what roles aren't working, and just getting to know each other, but also establishing ways to get to know each other, be more real, be more honest with each other, and keep building that friendship together.
Right.
So we hope you join us. We're going to, like she said, we're going to be doing subsequent videos, weekly of our journey together, the good, the bad, and how it all goes. And we'll be sharing that with you. And we'd love to interact with you guys as well. If you have questions, comments, things going on in your life that you would love us to explore, put that in the comments, and we'll be there, interacting with you guys as well.
Yeah, and so next time we're going to look at roles. We're going to get down and dirty with the roles and how we relate to them, what we want to swap or get rid of, or anything like that. So consider that and join us next time as well. And thank you so much for watching.
And remember, no matter what, friends first. That's what we're up to.
All right. Bye.